The discovery of electricity is credited mainly to Sir Benjamin Franklin in the 1700s. But have you ever wondered what electricity actually is and how it is made? We use it every day, lighting our homes, charging our devices, and powering entire shopping malls without giving it a second thought. Welcome to INDUSTRIA, where we uncover the fascinating processes behind the manufacturing of items inside the factories. So grab your snacks and let's go! But here's something to think about. How can something as simple as boiling water light up an entire city? From the spinning of huge turbines to the delicate dance of electrons in copper wires, we will uncover how electricity is made, step by step. Before we dig into how electricity is generated, let's first understand what electricity is. Electricity isn't a magical liquid flowing invisibly through wires. It's the movement of electrons, the tiny negatively charged particles that orbit atoms. When we generate electricity, what we are really doing is pushing these electrons through a conductor, usually copper wire, in a controlled flow. A single lightning bolt contains up to 1 billion volts, but it lasts just milliseconds and is almost impossible to capture. And it powers nearly everything we use: laptops, elevators, microwaves, and even electric cars. So how do we create a reliable, controlled stream of electricity that powers our lives every second of every day? The answer lies in something ancient: motion and magnetism. At the very core of almost every power plant is a simple idea: to spin a magnet inside a coil of wire. When the magnet spins, it creates a magnetic field that pushes electrons through the wire, generating electricity. This principle is called electromagnetic induction and was discovered by Michael Faraday in 1831. Almost 200 years later, it's still how most of our electricity is made. But what spins the magnet? Here's where things get interesting and diverse. From burning coal to harnessing natural forces like wind and water, humans have developed multiple ingenious ways to keep turbines turning and those magnets spinning. Let's begin with the most traditional source, and one you probably didn't expect: boiling water. Imagine boiling water to turn on your TV. Sounds strange? Yes, boiling water can power entire cities. That's exactly how thermal power plants work, using steam to spin turbines that generate electricity. Thermal power plants heat water to create high-pressure steam, which rushes to spin massive turbines. But what heats the water? There are three main types of thermal plants, each using heat to generate steam and spin turbines. Firstly, the most common and globally used are coal-fired power plants. Secondly, natural gas plants, which are cleaner but still fossil-based. And last but not least, nuclear plants, where atoms are split to release intense heat. No fire, no combustion, just chain reactions and careful control. Over 60% of the world's electricity is still produced using fossil fuels. However, renewable sources are quickly catching up. In the case of coal and gas plants, giant boilers burn fuel to heat water. The steam rushes at high pressure, which drives turbines connected to generators. Inside these generators, the spinning magnets induce an electric current in copper coils. It's like a giant modern steam engine, but designed to power whole cities. But burning stuff isn't the only way to spin turbines, and it's far from the cleanest. Let's see how nature's forces provide alternatives. Back in time, before coal, before gas, before nuclear reactors, humans were already tapping into the power of water. In ancient times, civilizations like the Greeks, Romans, and Chinese engineered water wheels to grind grain, irrigate crops, and run simple machines. These early hydropower systems were the blueprint for something much bigger. The principle was simple: moving water has energy, and if you can channel it, you can get it to work for you. What began as wooden wheels in riverbeds has evolved into some of the most powerful electricity generation systems on the planet. Fast forward to the modern era, and we have scaled up those ancient ideas into massive hydroelectric power plants. In hydroelectric power plants, fast-flowing or falling water, usually from rivers or dams, is used to spin enormous turbines. These turbines are connected to generators, which convert mechanical energy into electricity. No fuel, no smoke, no carbon emissions. Just gravity, water flow, and some very clever engineering, and the results are staggering. The Three Gorges Dam in China is the largest power station in the world by capacity, producing 22,500 megawatts, enough to power 15 million homes. Hydropower is clean, efficient, and renewable, but it requires the right geography and large dams, which can disrupt ecosystems and communities. Still, it's a major player and remains a source of electricity worldwide, and it's not alone in turning natural forces into electric power. High on hills and in open plains, and even offshore coastlines, you'll find giant wind turbines standing like futuristic giants installed to catch the breeze and generate electricity. Don't be fooled by their elegance. These machines are powerhouses. Each blade of a turbine acts like a massive airplane wing, using aerodynamic lift to spin a central rotor connected to a gearbox and a generator. Here, the spinning motion is transformed into electricity. Modern turbines can be over 120 meters tall, with blades longer than a Boeing 747. It's a modern marvel built on a simple principle. Motion generates electricity. One modern wind turbine can power up to 1,500 homes. In windy regions, such as Denmark, wind energy accounts for more than 40% of the country's electricity, and in some parts of Texas, wind generation is even higher. But here's a riddle. What happens when the wind doesn't blow or the water doesn't flow? We'll answer that shortly. But first, let's explore the most powerful yet silent contributor to electricity. Let's turn to the cleanest, most abundant, and most underused energy source in the universe: sunlight. So how do we tap into this golden bounty? Answer: solar panels. Solar power doesn't rely on spinning turbines or moving parts. Instead, it uses sunlight, silicon, and some clever physics to generate electricity directly, where the sun's rays are transformed directly into electricity using a process called the photovoltaic effect. Here's how it works. Solar panels are made up of silicon cells, and when sunlight hits them, the energy from the light excites the electrons in the silicon. These electrons start moving, and just like that, electricity is generated. The current produced is direct current, which is then converted to alternating current, which your home uses via inverters. In just 1 hour, the sun provides enough energy to power Earth for an entire year. In 2023 alone, the world added 341 gigawatts of solar capacity, more than any other energy source. Solar is quiet, scalable, and now cheaper than fossil fuels in many parts of the world. But like wind, it's intermittent, which brings us back to our riddle. What happens when the wind doesn't blow or the water doesn't flow? So what happens when nature doesn't cooperate? When the sun sets or the wind refuses to blow? The answer lies in two key technologies that quietly power our modern lives: energy storage and the electric grid. Storage systems like large-scale battery farms are essential for balancing electricity supply and demand. Tesla's megapacks, for example, store excess energy from solar and wind during peak production times. When demand increases or generation drops, these batteries release stored power to keep the grid stable. High-voltage power lines can carry electricity over hundreds of miles, reducing loss through clever engineering. The electric grid is a vast and complex system of power lines, transformers, and substations that delivers electricity from generation sources to homes and businesses. It ensures power is available when and where it's needed, regardless of whether it comes from coal, wind, or solar. Now the grid is evolving into smart grids. This system can adjust in real time based on supply and demand, and, when combined with energy storage, forms the backbone of a cleaner, renewable-powered future. What if we wake up one day and decide that we don't need wires at all? Then what? So where do we go from here? After centuries of burning fuels, spinning turbines, and stringing up millions of kilometers of power lines, the future might break free from wires altogether. Innovators are exploring the world of wireless transmission of electricity, using electromagnetic waves to beam energy over distances without cables. Japan's space agency, JAXA, is working on space-based solar power stations, which could collect sunlight in orbit and send it down to Earth via microwaves. On the other hand, researchers are developing quantum batteries, tiny devices that charge instantly using quantum entanglement. And fusion power? Still on the horizon, but potentially the holy grail. Unlike current nuclear plants, fusion could generate electricity by mimicking the sun itself with zero carbon emissions and minimal waste. From Benjamin Franklin's kite to futuristic fusion reactors, electricity has been one of humanity's greatest achievements. It powers our daily lives and connects the world, yet we often overlook its origins and journey. As we enter a new era of clean energy, smarter grids, and advanced storage, the real driving force behind progress isn't just technology, it's human curiosity. Every breakthrough started with a simple question: how can we do this better? That relentless spirit of innovation continues to push us forward, making electricity cleaner, smarter, and more reliable. Electricity isn't just a natural force, it's a story of invention, and we're only just beginning. And now you know how electricity is made. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to INDUSTRIA, and if you are interested in how UGG boots are made in factories, then you must check out the video on the channel. And let us know in the comments what we should dive into next.